All right, yeah. First of all, just excited about our game this week. I think first time at night to be able to play at Nippert, and real excited about that. I mean, the first game was awesome, but I'm sure this game is going to have a little bit more um, electricity to it. Students will be out, and everybody's going to have plenty of time to tailgate and have fun before the game and get ready to go. So we're excited about that. Um, just to recap quickly on the pit. Obviously, it was a great win for us and our program. Go on the road and beat a quality ACC team. Many things we took out of that game I thought was really good, particularly the start. Had a great first start in the game, offensively, defensively. Really right from the beginning, really to the end of the first half. You think about one thing we didn't talk about much was right at the end of the half, we get the ball, they down it on the 1 yard line. We take a 17 play drive and get 3 points out of it and basically melt, 8 minutes and 11 seconds off the clock. I thought that was a huge drive, game changing type drive. I think that was obviously very good. Defensively, I thought we got after the quarterback very well. Guys were getting in the backfield. We had 5 sacks, but we really pressured him a lot more than that and made him throw the ball earlier than he wanted to. And I think thus the 10 for 32 completion percentage. Dingle played his best game of his career. He's it was really good to see. We thought he had a lot of talent and ability, but just needed to play and experience. And I think he's going to be one of these guys that gets better and better the more he plays, the more he sees things. And but he was playing downhill, and obviously the huge sack there on fourth down was a big play for him. Justin Harris, I thought stepped up and played well. I think he had 4 pass breakups, tied the school record with that. And, they were throwing the ball at him. He had a couple of PI calls, but, I thought he was playing solid out there. He's got to, we can help him a little bit what we do defensively every now and again with a change up, but he's going to have to play man-to-man out there. He's going to have to make those plays, which I thought he did. I thought he did a great job. And, of course, Connor played a great game, his career game for him. And just good, tough, hard yards. Right from the beginning of the game, and then the last one, they got the first down, which obviously sealed the game. It was a big win. Excited about it, but ready to move on, and have moved on, to Miami this week. We know it's a rivalry game. We know what's at stake with this. We know we're going to get their best shot. They're going to come in here and play as hard as they possibly can play. We think. When you watch the film, whatever that they've shown on film, I think go ahead and elevate that because that's the way they'll play. Game. You got to obviously be ready for everything in the kicking game. They're very solid there. They're aggressive there. I think they have a really good return guy who is also their wide receiver that they want to get the ball to. He can fly. Last week had a career game, 8 catches, 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's an incredible game, including a 99-yard touchdown reception. And certainly want to give him the ball. I think Gavin, their quarterback's a guy that's played a lot of football, ton of experience, 33 career starts, and he's a guy that expects to go out and make the play. Anytime you're playing a quarterback that way, I think they're very dangerous in that regard because they've seen everything that defense have tried to do to him, and nothing phases him. And he certainly can throw it. He's a very accurate passer, and they do want to get the ball out, again to that. To Gage, number 10, their fast receiver, and they also have a very good running back. He's a big running back. He's got good contact balance and can spit the ball down the field and get first downs. So I think offensively certainly propose challenges there, and defensively, I think they're a very solid defense. They play really hard. Their linebackers run well. Their D line is very active. Have a couple new corners out there compared to last year, but I think they're very solid on defense. 15's a guy that stands out. I think he's a guy who had 100 tackles the last couple of seasons, plays hard, he can run. So certainly, be a great challenge for us. We're looking forward to it and can't wait to go out and play this game and, fired up to see all the people show up this week.
Keegan, raise your hands, please.
You talked about Corey Kiner and the great game he had, but after you had a chance to watch the film, given the uptick in competition, what was your kind of diagnosis of the offensive line and how they played?
Yeah, that was a big question going in. You played EKU, and I thought they played very solid, but now obviously you're going to play Pitt, a team who's going to pressure you and really make it hard on your offensive line. I thought they played very, very solid, particularly in the first half. I mean, they were making some really good blocks, and Connor was making some great cuts, and, they were protecting Emory very well. Obviously in the second half, maybe got a little conservative on offense. I'm talking about myself and the calls, but, you're up 27-7. It's a little bit of a different game at that point, and they're kind of pinning their ears back coming after us. And we probably didn't block as well during that period of time, but I still thought they did a really good job, containing a defensive line and linebackers that are so aggressive and so downhill. It makes it very difficult. But to give up 2 sacks, I thought was good. One of them was Emory, just didn't throw the ball away, kind of tried to go scramble, and so I thought that was the big difference in the game. The amount of pressure we were able to get and to get the 5 sacks, and compared to what they were able to do on us, I thought that was a huge difference in that game. And it helped us really control the game and to be able to run the football like we did. I mean, I think it was 216 compared to 83. I mean, that's a big difference, and obviously one of the big reasons why we won that game.
A lot of people say that you out-physical Pitt. Obviously, that's something you'd like to do every game. How important is it to do with this quarterback and then, like you mentioned, the big running back that they have?
Yeah, it'll be critical again. Our defensive line, I thought they played outstanding last week, but we're going to need that again this week to get the push. To try to get that quarterback, Miami's quarterback off the spot, make him move around a little bit. And that's what we were able to do to Pitt's guy. And we got to be able to do that same thing and really try to make them where they can't run the football. I know they'll want to, be able to hand the ball off and let the big back, go get some yards. But we got to do a great job up front, free our linebackers up. It's one of the things our D-line does a great job is occupy their offensive line. So, Dingle and Dorian can run and make those plays, and DG can go run and make those plays, and we got to be able to continue to do that.
Coach, Braden had another good game, had that great touchdown catch through the pass. You had him at Louisville. I know he was banged up, but did you see this level of potential in him when you had him there too?
Yeah, I mean, I think when he first got there, we thought he had a lot of ability, But I think I said this summer. I mean, this summer, this August camp, it's the best he's ever looked, even before the injury that he had. He's playing with a ton of confidence. And that's the thing about, these extra years that these guys are getting throughout the country. Those guys that are really good players, and you give them that one more year, I mean, man, they're lights out. And now he's been fully healthy. He's playing fast. He's always been able to catch the ball really good, but I think, which is his confidence level and his experience level, we can throw some things at him maybe that we didn't work on as much in practice, and he can go out and do it because he just understands what we're trying to do. And, and here's the other thing about him. I mean, I expect him to make the play. When we're dialing his number, we expect him to make it, and he makes it. And, and I think that is a wonderful thing. And, a guy playing with so much confidence, I think, he's on track, to continue to have another great year.
I'm sure you don't want to give away too much, but like dialing up that trick play, is that a feel thing? I'm sure you go in with a short list of those every game. How do you decide when to pull them out?
I mean, it's a feel thing. It's a lot of times it's what point of the game is it? Do we need a play? How aggressive are the defense? How they're playing? So much of the play calls and what we're trying to get to is what is the defense doing, and if a defense is becoming overly aggressive in a certain formation, a certain field zone, or a certain down and distance, we want to take advantage of that. If they're not, then we want to just take what they give us, And I think, and it's a cat and mouse game, back and forth throughout the whole game. We're trying to dial up some plays to counteract what they're doing, and obviously they're doing the same thing. So, you're going back and forth. That's why some plays hit and some don't. And I think, and that's why you can always go back and question yourself, was that a good call or not? And, obviously when they work, everybody looks great and geniuses. When it doesn't, then you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that, But that's football, and that's part of it. And but I do think, for me as a play caller, when you have experienced guys in positions that can make plays, I feel a lot better about making the calls, and because I feel like our guys will make us right no matter what. Like Emory's a very experienced quarterback. I feel like, okay, maybe it's a dumb call on my part. Hey, but you make me right, and they do that, and Braden's an experienced guy, Wiggins, those guys that have played a lot of football. So it does make it a lot easier calling plays when you got guys they're able to make it work.
Chuck Martin mentioned when talking about the Cincinnati defensive line, just big physical dudes up front that are a lot of fun to watch play. What do you see in film that maybe fans don't notice on the stat sheet?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many times that they'll see a linebacker or a secondary player come and make a play, and they really didn't see what happened up front, but maybe Briggs or Corleone or one of those guys just blew up two offensive linemen and a running back, and all of a sudden now the quarterback's got to move around over here, and now here comes a big sack, and everybody sees the sack. You didn't see exactly what those guys were able to do. They cause havoc. I mean, they are causing havoc up front by occupying multiple blockers when a lot of times you just want to use one blocker, maybe you have to use two. Now it's going to free somebody else up, and those are the things that they don't see. And sometimes I think, particularly in the inside, like maybe if a Briggs or Corleone is playing inside, like a three technique or a nose, where you may occupy two or three guys, and now guys are free, and they're basically sacrificing themselves, for the good of the team and the defense. And but they're team guys, and that's what makes them so special because, man, they're so talented and so big and strong and quick, but yet they understand the scheme of the defense, and they have to get in their gaps and do their job because it's going to free up someone else.
Emory Jones talked about it after the game that you had repped that Braden Smith pass play during practice and hadn't been able to hit on it. Then he also said the aggressiveness that you use in play calling kind of inspires them. Is that something you try to do? Is instill confidence in those guys with your play
Absolutely,
calls?
and I tell them I expect you guys to make every play. If we're calling, I expect you to make it. And if it didn't, sometimes it doesn't work in practice. Sometimes you don't get a great look, by your scout teams. Maybe it doesn't. They don't fit right or not as aggressive maybe as the team's going to be. But we certainly practice them. And expect to hit them in the game. And, our guys know now, I mean, maybe they didn't at the beginning of the season how aggressive we want to be offensively. They do know that now. Like, you're going to stay on the field. If it's fourth down, probably going to go for it. You expect them to make the play. But they like that. Like, our guys like that. They like the aggressiveness of it. Not just our offensive guys. I think our team likes it, our defense too, because they know, man, we're here to win this game. We're going to be aggressive regardless. And we got each other's back. And I think, that's the way we coach. That's the way our guys expect now. And I think that's why you have to play, this game. Be aggressive with it and expect to make the plays when it's there.
D-line's getting all this hype. Do you feel the guys behind them are maybe underrated a little bit? They go with the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, I think Dingle played. He was for us. He was one of the defensive players of the game. And thought he had his best game. So it goes hand in hand. If D-line's getting great push, then it's going to help a secondary in the pass game. And then vice versa. I think it all works together. We talk about playing as one, and I think that's the way it has to be. If everybody's doing their job, then a lot of guys are going to get accolades. A lot of guys are going to get noticed individually. And I think that's why it's such a beautiful game. It's can't just be one guy. It's got to be everybody. And so I don't know if anybody's getting really overshadowed. I think guys and how they can impact the game.
They had a receiver with 11 targets and 0 catches. Miami comes in an average 25 yards a play. What do you guys have to do in the secondary to limit their big playability?
Well, I think number one, you have to stay on top. You can't let number 10 get behind you because he's going to outrun you. I think Gavin's got enough. He's got a great accuracy on the deep ball. I think that's why they've averaged 25 yards a play on the pass. And so, two things I think. Number one, staying on top, and number two, getting to the quarterback. If he's got time to sit back there and allow their receivers to run 15, 20, 25 yards down the field past everyone, then it's going to be hard on our defense to be able to stop that deep throw. So we got to be able to get to the quarterback so he doesn't have much time to throw. But in the secondary, staying on top, and we have to know where number 10's at all times. Because he is that dangerous. And if you look at the targets that they've had, he is by far the most targeted player they have on offense. So you got to find him and have a guy over top, maybe a guy underneath, and be ready to help out.
Bearcats won 16 games straight in the Victoryville. I know you've been in Louisville. Did you get to check these games out as much, being away? And then what have you learned being with the program about Victoryville and what it means?
No, I never really paid any attention to the game, quite honestly. Obviously I wasn't here, but I know what it means to the program. I know it's amazing. They've been playing this the 127th battle for the Victoryville, and that's amazing to me. I didn't know they played football back mean, that's a long time. I mean, and it's, the ratio to wins and losses is very even. It's a ton of history over the years, and so I realize how big this game is. I know it's a rivalry game. With Coach Stewart and Coach Combs on staff. I mean, they've been around. They've told us about it. They've talked to our team about it. Obviously, some of our newcomers that we have on our team, we're continuing to enlighten them about how important this is and what the rivalry is. So yeah, we're making this we're full aware of what's happening when we're playing Miami. For us, still, it's about preparation. It's about going out this week and practicing as hard as we can this afternoon, Wednesday, putting a great plan together, and then going out and execute that plan. So that's our focus, and we know the attention to detail has got to be greater this week because of who we're playing. And our guys will have a great week.
Important, Coach, to educate yourself on the history of a rivalry that you're walking into for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a part of rivalries, so I know how important they are. At App State, Western Carolina, we played for a jug. I guess it was a moonshine jug or something. I don't even know what it was, but we played for years. I mean, when I was playing and coaching, we just know you're going to get up no matter what the records are when you're playing a rivalry game. You're going to get up for the game. And so this is the case. And so I've been a part of those. I know how important it is. Bragging rights for the fans, for the student body, for alumni, but more importantly, our football team, and how well we can go out and play, and knowing that we're going to get Miami's best shot, and knowing that anything can happen in this game, crazy things can happen in this game, and that's just the way rivalry games are, and we have to be prepared for that, and that's why we have to have a great week.
And with Corey, has he taken on the role as the quote-unquote lead back, considering his production, number of carries he's got in the first two?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, you saw that in this past week. I think, obviously, the first week he had over 100 yards again. I tell you, Corey's a team guy. He's a great individual. He's awesome to be around. Great attitude every day at practice, always trying to get better. So, yeah, I mean, I pull for guys like that. And, I'm excited that he's been able to make a lot of plays for us. Again, we know he's a strong runner. He can break tackles. He's going to chug out those first downs. It's hard for him to take it 70 for a touchdown. That's just not his strength. But as long as he continues to break out, have big games, and getting first downs for us, then he will get more carries. And we've said that all along. But he has kind of, I think, solidified himself to be, the top back at this point in time. But we'll still have competition. We'll still allow some other guys to get in there and play, and let's see what they can do too.
Harris is a fifth-year starter, or not a fifth-year starter, fifth-year guy that got his first start this past weekend. Up and down game, made some huge plays, especially the second down PBU to force the third and long. He struggled with injuries a lot. So what have you kind of known about his journey? How much have you gotten to know him and understand the kind of man he is?
Yeah, no, I mean, number one, he's always in a bubbly attitude, bubbly mood. He's always upbeat, smile on his face, trying to go out there and make plays. I'm happy for him. He's getting this opportunity. It was a great opportunity for him to start in a big game, and for him to go out there and have 4 PBUs, and really they were throwing at him a lot, and for him to come out on top like that, I thought was great. I also think that he'll learn a lot from that. Getting that start, going out there and playing, and getting a lot of balls thrown your way. It's great film to go off and coach off of, and to continue to get it better for him. I recognize he, had a bad injury, and he's had some injuries throughout his career. For him to, persevere and to keep battling back, and man, I mean, I love it. I love those stories of guys that don't give in, don't let down, don't quit. They just keep battling, keep fighting. That's how we want to be as a team. So he kind of exemplifies that as an individual, what we want our team to be. Maybe things don't go your way sometimes. You face adversity, but you keep battling, keep coming. You're going to be out on top at the end. And so I'm happy for him, and I know he'll continue to get better the more he plays throughout this season.
Do you hope to get Sammy Anderson back?
Well, I mean, obviously we'd hope to, but again, we talked about this. I mean, it's up to what the doctors are saying on him. I know Sammy's wants to be out there. We want him to be out there. We're certainly going to listen to all the doctors and what they say in his regard. And, we're still think there's some more tests again today, on Sammy. And so we'll see where we're at with that. And, would love to have him out there because, I thought he had, arguably the best August camp of the DBs. I thought he played at a high level, a lot of confidence out there. So we'll see where we're at, here in the next couple of days.
Any other questions Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks, guys. Questions for Gavin Gerhardt?
Coach Satterfield said it was a solid day for you guys up front. What would be your diagnosis of how that group played? Obviously, Corey Kiner had a great game running the ball.
I think we played really physical. We knew coming into this week that Pitt was going to be really physical. They were going to try and bully ball, and I think we prepared really well for that and took that to heart and had a good outcome.
How many Miami guys do you know? A lot of you guys played together in high school here and there, but do you know any of them?
I do not personally know any of them. Obviously, the first 2 years I knew Ivan a little bit, but other than that, I don't know anybody.
About the Victory Belt rivalry, obviously no one's lost since 2005, but
Yeah.
is it still fun to ring that sucker?
Yeah. To have something you work for in the game like that, a trophy, that's always exciting. And since I've been here, we've been able to keep it here, and hopefully to keep that going this Saturday.
Looking at the way Corey's played in the past 2 weeks, what does that say about you guys as a group? When looking back, coming into the season, offensive line was maybe a question mark.
Probably that we gelled together really well. I think we're still gelling together to this day. And every game by game, I think we'll continue to get closer. He's a really good running back. We got a lot of good running backs in that room, and I love blocking for all of them.
Obviously, Braden Smith had that trick play with the pass to D. Wiggins. When that play gets called in the huddle, is there any kind of weird feeling you get, like, oh gosh, what's about to happen? Because I heard that you repped it in practice and weren't able to hit on it.
We run a play away from that. We kind of run opposite of that to kind of draw the defense to that side of the field. So we don't have much to do with that. It's just, honestly, I didn't even know he was throwing the ball at that point. We were all just trying to run off the ball and dent the defense.
Just talk about this offensive line. Obviously, you talk about how you guys are still gelling together. Just talk about how you're really embracing that leadership role with these newer guys up front there on the offensive line.
Last year I was the young guy, so stepping into that's a little different. I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to be as vocal as I can be for those guys. We got Trev, who was a captain at Penn, really vocal guy. We got Dion from Kentucky, more of a soft-spoken guy, but he's getting there. Really proud of how he's progressed since he's been here. And then we got Kandra, who's a big physical guy, unbelievable player. He'll continue to do great things for us. Johnny, he's made high jumps from where he was in the past. He's doing awesome, and DT's just a man. That's just all I got to say about him. But he's doing their thing. They're all doing their thing. I'm really proud of them.
Going on the road and winning at Pitt, how can you guys build on that with your confidence inside the locker room with the Big 12 schedule coming up after this week?
Like I said, I knew we all knew it was going to be a physical game, and I think all the Big 12 games are going to be real physical. So just being as physical as we can be as an offensive line, and denting the defense, getting movement off the ball. It's all about that.
From a scheme perspective, what's the biggest difference in the zone blocking scheme that you guys are running to maybe what you've done in the past?
Just getting out running, towards the sidelines a little bit. Just being as fast as we can off the ball, trying to dent the defense, as well as running, sideways and trying to work vertical up to the linebackers. So it's a little different that way.
Did you say that DT was the man?
Yeah, he is a man. I'm really happy for him. I'm so proud of him. He's continuing to make big jumps. I knew that once he got his shot, he was going to run away with it. I wish he would have got a couple more opportunities last year. But now that he's in that role, I don't see him taking any steps backwards at all.
Describe his growth from going to such a tiny school, 500 students in the entire school, to where he is now starting on the line for a Big 12 team.
When he got here, I didn't even know. I knew where he came from, but I didn't know how many students were there. I didn't know that it was such a small school. And when he got here, you couldn't even tell. He's just that type of guy. He's awesome to be around. He's a big dude. He lifts weight. I lift with him all the time. I'm just got done lifting with him today, and he's just awesome to be around.
Emory Jones said after the Pitt game that Coach Satterfield's aggressive play calling really inspires him to play as well as he can.
Yeah.
How does that inspire the group up front? Does that help you guys, give you guys confidence at all when you know you're doing such aggressive play calls like the 4th and 1s?
Yeah, it gives us a lot of confidence, that he believes in us. Ran a QB sneak earlier. Yeah, the 4th and was half a yard or so on it backed up, and we're all out there yelling at him, sniper, 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 which is a way of us, QB sneaking, and he believes in us, and that gives us a lot of confidence.
For the new guys that haven't experienced it yet, how do you describe a night game at Nippert?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm so excited for that. It's going to be rocking like it always has been since I've been here for a nip at night, and it's going to be really fun.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Gavin.
Appreciate it, guys.
Questions from Justin?
How was it to finally get that start and do pretty well?
It felt great. Just kind of stepping in a role that I knew I was going to come into. Sammy Anderson, that's my boy. So just stepping in the role for him was a big factor for me and the team as well. I'm a 5th-year guy, so I kind of lean on myself more to be accountable, especially when somebody steps down or steps out, and I have to step in that role. So.
How hard has it been to kind of stay committed and focused to football? It's been a really long career. You've had a lot of really rough injuries.
Yeah, it was pretty tough when I had the neck injury in 2021. It was probably the first play of the game. We played Murray State. It was a big factor for me. Having football taken away from me was kind of big. I kind of get emotional when I talk about it as well, because when you have something taken away from you that you love so much and dearly to your heart, it kind of affects you in a mental way. So coming back, having my training, I'll give a big shout out to Aaron and the medical staff and just the whole collective group as well. Helped me get back kind of early than when I was expected to get back. So that was kind of big.
You're an experienced guy, so you've seen a lot of ball. Playing as well as you did this past week, what does that do for your confidence going forward?
It boosted a lot. Giving me the confidence knowing that I played not a significant amount of ball, but I played a lot of ball in the past as well. So it just gave me the confidence. Really, that's all I can really say about that one. So.
You had a few pass interference calls on you, but you stayed locked in, had that big PBU on Pitt's last drive on 2nd down. How did you stay so focused, and how do you kind of overcome those fouls in order to continue to have a good game?
Just playing the defensive back, I've signed up to play the role as well, so it's kind of a 50-50 call. Can't really do too much about it, can't really dwell on the past. As a corner, you got to have short-term memory, so I just kind of try to move on to the next play as well. So.
How much does Coach Combs talk to you on the sideline?
He talks to me a lot. Really, after every drive, he'll come up to me or he'll gather up the defensive group, and he'll just kind of just ask me what am I seeing out there, kind of like what their splits are, how they are as a receiver and as a player as a whole. So.
Bub Means is a guy that comes in with blazing quick speed. Obviously, he runs a 4.4 40. Yep. You guys held him to 0 receptions over the weekend. Just talk about what you guys were able to do on the defensive end to maintain him to 0 catches.
I would say just knowing our job, really, just knowing the defense, knowing the coverage as well. It was a big task for me as well, just stepping in the role, like I said, of Sammy Anderson, stepping in a big role, a starter role as well. And just playing our technique, and we're a hard press man team as well. So just taking all the vertical shots that that we're going to get, just taking them out the game, and it would be on our hands. So.
All right, you played in a few Victory Bell games. What are you telling the young cats that haven't played in it, and just being the 5th-year guy on the staff?
I would say just don't take it for granted, because every time I've played Miami and it's a rivalry week, they give us their best shot. They're coming out swinging. Last year we were down 17-7, I believe, at one point. So just kind of knowing that we're going to get their best shot every time we play them. Obviously, I think it's their Super Bowl when they play us because it's a rivalry week. So I just tell the young guys, don't take it for granted. you know what I'm saying, just respect your opponent.
Obviously, Nip at Night comes this Saturday. Just talk about what message you have been able to give to these guys. Obviously, 33 new scholarship players on this team.
Yeah.
What's been the message for you guys heading into this week for Nip at Night for those who haven't experienced it yet?
Just take it all in because Nip at Night is a special thing. I've played in a lot being here in 5 years, so it's a special thing. I don't think I've played in any bigger games than in a Nip at Night. So just telling them that just take it all in when you get there and just don't take nothing for granted as well.
You had your first career pick in week 1. Right, I think play or two before that, you almost had a pick 6.
Yeah.
Just walk us through those, that sequence where you almost get one and then were able to find one a couple plays later.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was I want to say it was a first down play or second down play. We were in cover 3, and Coach Combs always tells me to pre-snap read the quarterback and on the 3-step drop. So I just saw the 3-step and I broke on it quick and it fell out my hands. I don't know how I dropped it as well. So, but luckily God blessed me to come back the next play and make an outstanding pick the next play. So.
Combs was one of the first people when you came over to the sideline who was there waiting for you. What's that relationship been like the past couple of years?
It's crazy. I love Coach Combs, man. He's an energy provider. Just knowing how he is as a coach, you want to give him your best every day, day in and day out. So. He came to me on the sideline, was like, man, I love you, man. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I said the same to him as well. So I appreciate Coach Combs as well. So.
Can you just describe this transition and how much it's helped you having Coach Combs there along the way?
Yeah, I've been through 3 position coaches being here so far, and I piggybacked off all of them so as well. So Coach Combs, I feel like he has the complete package as a whole. I mean, he coached I don't know how many first rounders from Ohio State, so. Just having that as a coach and knowing that he knows talent and he knows what he's talking about as a defensive back coach really helps me as well. So.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Joseph.
Thank you, appreciate it.